What was your first kiss like? Context: I've been with this girl, G, for just over 2 months and it's been amazing. She is very kind and sweet and just makes me happy. Story: me and G were sitting down and playing some video games at my house. G gets spawn killed and gets frustrated, so I turn to G and give her a kiss on the head. About 5 minutes later G says that I made her day by kissing her on the head. Me: yeah, I wish I was brave enough to kiss you on your lips though. G: it's alright if you're not ready, I understand. Me: I think I'm ready, just I'm extremely nervous and scared I'll mess it up. I do want to try but I'm overall scared. G: we can try now. G then slowly came towards me, who was very scared. I then gave G a little kiss and instantly started blushing. She then gave me a big hug and then snuggled into me. So I'm 18, I'm going to uni, I've only had one kiss. This was back in my sophomore year on winter break. I had just moved and was visiting family in my hometown. I was really excited to see my friend at the time who I had feelings for. We were texting back and forth daily and flirting over the phone, talking about how we missed each other. Well, I had a day where I was free and spent the day with each other at her house. The whole time I was thinking of making a move, but her little brother was in the room and I think he knew what I wanted to do. We just chilled out watching Scott Pilgrim, my choice for the movie. I was laying my head in her thighs while she played with my hairs. I did the classic stretches arms and put over the shoulder and worked great. I had to go, so we hugged and it was one of those long tight hugs and we just looked at each other. Then I chickened out, I left, and the whole night I felt like shit. So if it was impulse, but a few nights later I go to her house at like 2 a.m. dead winter Chicago, and before I can even get a word out she tells me to come inside. Had to just through a window. We talk and she has me stay the night. In the morning her mom is calling her and we both just spring up. I tell her thank you as we hug, and right before I leave I see her close her eyes and start making her lips into the kissing shape. I hear her mom coming and I just went for it. It was like 1 second and I dive out the window before her mom came in. It wasn't a very passionate kiss, more of a quick peck, but I felt so proud, and while I walked away We Are the Champions played in headphones like that one episode of Regular Show. At 18 and without a significant progress with girls, unlike literally everyone else I knew, I found an unlikely wingman, more of a wingwoman. She was a new student and a sophomore. I knew her from her sister who introduced me, since I was known to be a good tour guide and a person to always hang out with. Her name is W for simplicity. I didn't know, but we did make a good team together. We considered each other best friends after a month or so hanging out. And in that process I was her wingman in getting a date for her crush who I knew. It didn't work out for long, but she appreciated the help. W was the type of friend who was younger than you and made you remember it, always teasing me for being 18 and never having a girlfriend. I wasn't shy or couldn't talk to girls, I just had a bad habit of making my crush bring out their bad side. So I didn't bother, especially senior year, but that was different when I changed classes and got to sit next to G, someone I already knew but eventually got to develop a crush on. Word on the street also told me she had a crush on me too. Everyone was raving about it, well, all my friends anyway. And what would you know, W decided to help me be my wingwoman since I helped her, and for an entire month I literally took her advice in trying to ask her out or trying things to impress her one way or another, oblivious to the fact that she already was waiting to be asked out. I made a fool of myself joining her club and trying to show off, only to dislocate my ankle doing karate. During this process me and W hung out even more frequently than before, trying to come up with a plan to ask G out or get the relationship going. We were a horrible team now that I think about it, but that didn't stop us from taking planning with us to the museum trip that we signed up for. We walked and planned while looking at cool stuff, and only then did I realize that I didn't know how to kiss. Me being me, I was worried that I would break the whole deal if I didn't know how to kiss properly, as we'd finally gotten a plan together for me to ask G to the upcoming Valentine's dance. I was in a moment of stupidity, but W said she'd show me and that it was no biggie as she had no problem with it. We went to the less popular part of the museum and finally I got my first kiss. And that was when it happened. W confessed to me that she'd had a crush on me for the longest time and that the relationship with the guy she'd asked out didn't last because of me. It was a shocker and just showed how dense I was to certain social cues. I was entirely confused and frustrated that I'd let a sophomore do that to me, and my self-esteem broke for a moment, thinking that I was pathetic enough that all I could get was a sophomore to like me. But some part of me felt that the kiss was more meaningful than it seemed. And eventually, after a long discussion, I understood that W was special to me in a new way I didn't understand up until then. We didn't go out or go further for obvious reasons, but I can never forget her face when she finally told me. She was and still is one of the sweetest people I know. Nowadays we aren't friends just because of life, I guess, and yet I will take her back if she wants to. The morale of this short story is that sometimes things don't always go the way you want them to go, but you'll sometimes find that it's better that way. You never know where your happiness lies.